From the group near the window.
Okay, we are going to discuss the following questions. What causes conflict in groups? The second one, how can each of these causes be dealt with to avoid conflict proactively in those groups? And the last one, why is it so important for groups to work in harmony? So for the first one, what we discussed in groups, we said the first one will be different in opinion. Let's say you've been given a question and you have to from the group. And the first one has a...
So the first cause is differences in opinion.
Yes. And the first person has opinion A, and the second person has opinion B. Both of them will want to be listened to, and their answers to be taken as correct. So, number 2, person difference. Let's say in a group, there are two people who don't like each other.
Why? They just simply don't like each other. So you are looking for the causes of this dislike.
Okay. I can say for me, there's some people are just not
Are just like him.
yes. Some people are just not like there's just someone who just need to just don't want to associate with the person, maybe their character, like that. How
Okay, that's the second reason.
Yes.
The third one?
You say jealousy.
Jealousy.
Yes.
If you are answering questions very well, the other people become jealous.
No, but to our point of view, we say in a group, let's say the way you are told to go into groups.
Yeah.
And you are told to choose your leader, someone to be their leader.
Yeah.
And maybe when we allocate ourselves in the group, there's someone, people just say, you'll be the leader, and maybe I want to be the leader. And I will not want to cooperate with you because I wanted to be the leader.
So I want to sabotage this guy.
Yes.
He has done nothing wrong, I just want to sabotage you. Jealousy. Wow.
Okay. Discomfort in topic discussion. Let's say you've been given a question and you want to discuss. And then in the middle of the discussion, someone gives an example of a topic. And when the topic is given, you feel like you don't want to listen to the topic, you are not comfortable discussing the topic. And to you just feel like it's you. You want to view people to think of you, and you're not thinking of the
Please, those who look facing backwards, turn the chairs this way. I don't want it to suffer from a naked. Okay. Turn your chair properly this way. Go on.
Okay, we are talking about discomfort in discussion. Yes, I have said, maybe you are given a topic to discuss, and then in the middle of the discussion, someone gives an example which is related to the question you are given. And then there's someone in the group who is not comfortable.
These are people who don't understand what you are discussing. They just bring up a new discussion.
And then
Yeah.
there's one person in the group who doesn't feel comfortable talking about the topic, maybe religion.
So they just switch off.
Those, and then you try to keep the person to continue being part of the group, but that person is not cooperating the group, so it leads to arguments. Intellectual differences. We say that in a group, there's always someone who thinks he or she knows better than the other. Let's say, the person A and B. Person A says an answer, but person B feels that the person didn't answer, so she takes over answering the question, and the other person is not done explaining to the people.
Is this called pride? Is that pride? You think you are the only one who knows all the answers.
Yes.
The others have to listen to you.
Yes. Okay, so the second question was how to deal with the causes.
All those courses.
Yes.
Start with the first course. You seem to have very many courses. go through one at a time.
Yes. We said for the first one, which was the first cause was difference in opinion. So we said we've listened to both of them and come up with a conclusion. You listen to person A and you listen to person B and come together as a group and come up with a conclusion of their answer.
Okay.
The second one, person-person differences. We say parting differences before discussion. Well, like for example, me in Srimada's story, when there's a group discussion with people you don't like or just don't feel like discussing with the person, you think about the others and keep aside your conflict so that you can
Teach people how to keep conflicts outside the group.
Yes.
If they have to fight, they let them fight outside.
Yes. And work as a team. Right.
You don't help them not to fight. You tell them to fight, it's okay to fight, but fight outside.
If they don't want to be hurt, just people who fight. They don't want to be seen as wrong.
Okay, okay.
Jealousy, we say it is different for leadership, involve everybody in choosing the leader. Let's say certain for joining the group and then you're not included in taking part of team chosen as a leader. You can choose the people for people to choose their leader. And if you don't end up being the leader, you just accept and move on. The other one, discomfort in topic discussion. We said avoid trivial topics. Let's say you stick to the question being given.
The leader of the group should insist on getting the group to stick to the topic.
Yes, okay. The other one, intellectual differences. You see, consider the person's feelings. Let's say the way I have answered my question. I felt like I knew something, and maybe I know I can't answer it the same way as you. That little self-esteem that I have, I've decided to use it to answer the question, and then you come, just know I'm correct, and you answer. You should consider me. Some people, they're just not good with people. It takes them time to adapt. So, and the last question was, why is it so important for groups to work in harmony? The first one is said to achieve the main goals. If you are a group and have something to achieve, you cannot achieve it, let's say, this one is saying this, you are not working together. You can't achieve the main goal that you want. You have to come and sit together, discuss what you have been given, and come up with a conclusion. To create a strong team. Let's say if we don't work together, people will end up going from your team going to another team because they see in that team people are given the chance to participate and their views are hard. So they will help in creating their strong team. The other one, it will eliminate or minimize confusion, hence less time consuming. When we sit together and discuss something without confusion, we will take less time in taking part of it, in discussing the topic. The other one, it increases motivation, hence engaging and contribution. Let's say, after we sit together and have harmony in the group, everyone will be given a chance to talk. This one will say this, the other one, they feel like, if I continue sitting in this group, they will let me talk and they will hear out the group. And then the last one, making of good decisions. Let's say we have been given that topic and we come up with the answers, everything like suggestion, ideas, and then the people will continue to discuss the answers of the views that we have said in the group. And then we'll be able to come up and say this one will help, this one will not help. So good decisions will be made.
Can we clap for them? Time for questions? Some they need to clarify, some you don't agree with, doesn't answer the question. The whole group will answer, so it is easier the group to answer. If you think there is something they didn't quite answer, you don't see how it's not covered, or you don't agree with what they are saying, or you don't even understand what they are saying. No question for them. Okay, now we want you to evaluate. You can have a seat. We want to evaluate yourself. As a group, how harmonious were you? Did you suffer from groupthink? What grade would you give yourself? You are being examined on the basis of how harmonious you are, yet remain creative, to use my friend's words. Would you give yourself a A, B, C, or D? A means we cannot improve. We are at the top. No area for improvement. D means it was so terrible, Mr. Nana, I was very uncomfortable in that group. Where do you place yourself? You are marking the whole group. A, B, C, D. Don't look at him. He's getting shy. He's getting shy. So I think it's a matter that needs to be dealt with quietly. Yes? Give a grade. We don't have a lot of time. A. Okay. I wish I had the time. I would like to get the reasons why you think it's an A. Okay. This group. Report. You are not allowed to repeat what they said, so you go through, sit down, you go through your notes. Anything additional on any one of the questions, you add. We know you are as clever as that group, so we assume that. But if there is something in additional, first read the first question and any additional answer, then you go to the second question and additional answer. If they are exactly the same, you just say pass.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. So, resolving conflicts. The first question: what causes conflicts in groups? They talked about disagreements. They talked about.
Don't repeat what they said.
Okay, discrimination.
Good.
When we talk about discrimination, for example, I'm older than him, right? And he points out something, and I'll see as if such an idea is useless to me because I'm older than him. I feel like I'm the superior person, and I'm the one who should be making.
Of course, it can be older. It can be you are more black than him.
Yeah.
And black is right.
Exactly.
So if you are not black, you can't be clever.
See, such things can lead to
It will create conflict.
Yeah.
I agree. Go to the next one.
Bring conflicts. In discrimination, we can also talk about living standards. Maybe I'm richer than this guy.
Okay. So when you put people, some come from Mathare, others come from Muthaiga, and they're in the same team. The Muthaiga people will not listen to the Mathare people.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So it will cause conflict for nothing.
For nothing. No. Yeah. So the second one-man domination. What do you mean by one-man domination? Somebody in the group feels like he or she is the one to decide on everything. Every single thing going on, it's this dude or it's this guy. She's the one who feels like, he or she is the one who feels like they're very right and they're the best in the entire group or something like that. Yes.
Again, some pride.
Yes, some pride.
Okay.
Then we talk about loyalty. Loyalty, when we have one member of the group, William Kora, he comes from another group to spy on us. Or maybe he's from our group and decides to leave and decides to take our ideas from our group to another group.
He's a spy.
Yeah, some like a spy. Yes, Judas. Yeah.
Once you discover him, there will be trouble.
Yes. There will be
Okay.
trouble.
Lack of loyalty to the group.
Lack of loyalty to the group.
Good points. Good points.
Those are the only ones.
Okay, now tell us how to prevent those sabotaging your group.
How can these conflicts be dealt with proactively to be avoided? One,
Start with the first one.
yeah, when we talked about discrimination, I think for discrimination we can listen to everyone's opinion. Get to understand what this person wants and what the other
The
person
leader must insist
Yes.
on everybody hearing everybody. When this one tried to interfere, say, no. Let him speak. Protect him until he is able to speak his mind. Okay.
Then, number two, I believe that we can respect everyone. Be it your background or anything, your age, you should be able to respect your fellow.
So wealth does not determine the brain.
Yes.
Blackness does not determine the brain.
Yes.
Since what you want is ideas,
Yes.
the fact that I'm Madare and you are from Mudaiga does not matter.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Then analyze everyone's answers. As a group leader, you can correct your group members. For example, maybe you say something, maybe he says something, and we may not agree with it. As a group leader, it's best that you try to speak to him on why we can't do this, or
Rather than embarrass him.
Yes. Instead of he or she being discriminated by other members of the group.
Okay.
So that was all, because I've said all the rest.
The final question.
The final question. Why is it so important for groups to work in harmony? One, to avoid conflicts.
Yes.
Two, to establish good friendships. When we work in harmony, I can be able to identify these guys, they're good people, they can be my friends, and we can help one another in various aspects. Yeah.
Another reason why you want to ensure a group works in harmony.
So we'll be successful in the group. For a successful group,
What does success mean?
Okay, grow from one point to another.
It is to achieve the purpose of the group.
To achieve the
Success is to achieve the purpose of the group. So if you really want to achieve that purpose, disharmony will sabotage you. Good. Those are good points. Can we clap for them? Stop there. It's question time. It's question time. Something they have said you don't agree with, something they have said that's not clear. The other groups, this team is ready to answer you. Okay. What is your grade? How do you work? How do you feel? Rate yourself how you felt comfortable with the group. A, B, C, D. So which grade? A. I wish I had the time for. But let's clap for them again. According to themselves, they are great. Okay, that team, come quickly. Oh, you have two reportees. Okay, you're welcome if two of you are reporting. Okay, the other one has stopped along the way. Go ahead.
Okay, so for the first question, there are a few answers.
Yeah.
I will summarize them.
And don't repeat the first two groups.
Okay, for the first question, first and the main cause of conflict was difference in opinion between the group members.
No, that we already told. Now, go to another one.
The second one was a generalized one, which is social biases. instead of saying greed or saying corruption or tribalism, term them as social vices, which
That is human beings' weaknesses. Whether greed, all of those. If people are not sinners, groups would work better. But now the group is full of sinners. So they create problems in the group. Okay, another one?
And the third one was aggressive leadership mentality.
Aggressive?
Leadership mentality.
So the problem is that leader. The group is okay, but they have a bad leader.
No, not the leader. There is someone who has a mentality that they should always be the leader.
Oh, in other words, they may not even be the leader, but they are sabotaging the leader. Because it should have been me. Some jealousy type of. Okay.
And the one I don't think that any group has mentioned is overdependence on one brilliant individual.
Overdependence on one person in the team.
Who is considered to be smarter than the rest of them.
Okay, some group think problem. Okay.
Now,
how can you prevent those problems?
That's right. The first one, which is for almost all of the problems, is discussion and negotiations. We do not want to do a thing for only one individual. We want to do it as a whole group. So, where there are conflicts, we need to discuss and know how we're going to deal with those conflicts and solve each little conflict with its own solution. That's discussion and negotiation. The second one is teaching and practice of virtues such as honesty and integrity.
In other words, help them to become Christians and practice Christianity. Okay, next.
Next was a bit simpler, which was guidance and counseling.
Guidance and counseling of the whole group or the leader?
For the members who are unable to solve the conflict or that member who is aggressive.
Take them through a counseling session. Okay.
And the last one wasn't mine, but it was a good suggestion, which was fair and equal distribution of resources, ideas, and opinions.
In other words, a group should ensure whatever benefits are accruing from the group must be shared equitably. Equally or equitably? Do you know the difference? Who can help him know the difference between equitable and equal? Hey, you group, help your leader. Do you mean equitable or equal? You know, equal means if the group is able to get 20 shillings and there are 4 of them, each gets 5. That's equal. Equitable means you look at the various contributions and share it according to the various contributions. That's equitable. It will not be equal, but everybody will understand why each one is getting what they are getting. Is there a difference? What did your group say? Equitable or equal? Huh? Equal. You want equal? Okay.
So there is equal distribution of ideas and opinions. Everyone will be allowed to contribute to an idea which promotes creativity in the group. Those are our answers to our Now for the third question, which was
why are you doing all this? Why must you prevent what will be the benefits of preventing conflict?
First one is general. It promotes efficiency in discussion, meaning that everything you discuss in the harmonious,
it will be faster and efficient. Number 2?
Number 2 is it leads to better choices and decisions. Faster.
You will make better decisions if you are working in harmony. Number 3?
Number 3, promote peace among the people.
There will be peace in the team. Number 4?
Number 4, to minimize social vices.
Or it will make people less evil. Okay.
The next one is teamwork makes the dream work. If we all coordinate, we will be able to.
Teamwork makes
The dream.
the dream.
Dream work.
Oh, the dream work. Okay, that sounds poetic.
Which means that if people have to get together, they are able to reach their goals and their targets that
Wow.
which in the last one, it makes ideas and goals become realistic and easier to achieve.
Okay. Now it's time for questions. This team is ready to answer. Not this one, that one there. They are ready to answer. Any questions for? No questions? Yes, please.
When you said minimum social rights, and the plan to do something bad, how do you minimize social rights?
Well, if there is harmony, like let's say, tribalism. There is this one person, forgive me if I'm offending a tribe, I'm going to use an example. Like let's say for Kikuyu thinks that Ado is a bad person because they do not, they are outside
Because they don't even know them.
But then, if you are in this group with that Ado and Kikuyu, and you see he's actually doing well, he's not a bad person, you will change.
Harmony will make you higher. You mean these people are good?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's a very good answer. Any other question? Well done, team. Can we clap for them? They're great. How did you feel being in that group? Is it a A, B, C, D? Yes. You give it a what? A B. So there is, you know what to do to make it the next time you meet to be even a better group. Okay. Your final group? Well done. So far, very good. But you have trouble because you are not allowed to repeat any of all that. So you understand if you say it's the same.
The first one was first question, what was conflicts in groups? We said misunderstandings, lack of thinking, miscommunication, and like bad leadership.
Miscommunication.
Yes.
Yeah, the others have not mentioned that one.
Okay. So number two, how can you prevent it? So the miscommunication was by making sure you express yourself clearly, making sure you understood, asking for clarification.
So the talker must be clearer, the listener,
Must clarify their understanding and not assume or
then there will be better communication.
Yes.
Okay.
Then that for the bad leadership was that leaders do not involve the group members in decisions. Decisions affect the group as a whole. So the leaders, the members are left feeling left out or like they're being like led.
Therefore, there is conflict.
Yes, it's conflict.
How do you prevent it?
By making sure you take decisions with the group members, making sure they understand. Yes, and asking.
Ruled by consensus.
Yes.
Okay. Next.
The next one was misunderstanding. Was like where like group members interpret one idea, like let's say, okay, like I can say this idea A, then guys don't understand that, then they take it.
In other words, they are opposing you but don't even understand what you are saying.
So you were like trying to argue the word because they're both thinking of different things, two different ideas. So there's no way you can resolve that conflict.
How do you prevent that?
Prevent that. You make sure you, like the same one for communication, make sure your point is understood. It's,
How do you make sure you understood?
by let's say talking in simple, not talking in simple terms, not like big words that most people will not understand. Yeah, so being clear.
Be clear, be simple. Okay. Next problem. Now, why do you think we should spend time ensuring whatever team we are in, it works in harmony? Whether that team is our family, is our clan, is our Bible study group, why must we ensure it works in harmony?
To improve group creativity, to make the work enjoyable, to also improve, make the group efficient, we work as a unit and increase the output and output.
Are those your ideas or the group's ideas?
The group's ideas.
And they're just flowing from the head? Oh, well done. Okay, let's clap for them. Question time. Any question for this team? Any question for this team? What grade are you giving yourself? Huh? C. E. Oh, B. I thought, you are rating yourself, not him. Anyway, you may be seated. Wow, it has taken longer, but I think that was very good information. So even if I say nothing, you already know how to be. Please apply this, start by applying this in your own home, your parents and your siblings. Are we together? Yeah, because all those benefits we have had from every team will only come when you learn how to resolve conflicts. I guess I may now have to go through my notes, but I don't think they are that needed. You have done a very, very good job. Very, very good job. Let me just summarize what I would have said, but it's now not important to say it. Can someone read for me Galatians chapter 2, verse 1 to 14? If you find it fast, just read it. There's a conflict there. Oh, nobody. Oh, go ahead. Read loudly. I said 2 verse 1 to 14.
Then after 14 years I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas, taking Titus along with me. I went up by revelation and I laid before them, but privately before those who were of refuge the gospel which I preach among the Gentiles, means somehow I should be running or had run away. But even Titus, who was with me, was not compelled to be circumcised, though he was a Greek. But because of false brethren secretly brought in, who slipped in to spy out our freedom which we have in Christ Jesus, that they might bring us into bondage. Then we did not hear submission even for a moment, that the truth of the gospel might be preserved for you, and for those who are refused to be something. What they were makes no difference to me. God shows no partiality. Those I say who are to refuse add nothing to me. But on the contrary, when they saw that I had been entrusted with the gospel to be the uncircumcised, just as Peter had been entrusted with the gospel to be circumcised. For he who worked through Peter for the mission to be circumcised worked through me also for the Gentiles. And when they perceived the grace that was given to me, James and Cephas and John, who were reputed to be the pillars, gave to me and Barnabas the right kind of fellowship, that we should go to the Gentiles and they to the circumcised. Only they would have remembered the poor, which very thing I was eager to do. But when Cephas came to Antioch, I opposed him to his face because he stood condemned. For before certain men came from James, he ate with the Gentiles, but when they came, he drew back and separated himself, fearing the circumcision party. And with him the rest of the Jews acted insincerely, so that Barnabas was carried away by the insincerity. But when I saw that they were not straightforward about the truth of the gospel, I said to Cephas before them all, if you though a Jew live like a Gentile and not like a Jew, how can you compel the Gentiles to live like Jews?
Thank you. So you see, when the Bible has a case study on conflict, do you notice that? That's a case of conflict even between leaders and within groups. One group wants the Gentiles to be circumcised. The other one says that's not what Jesus taught us. And there's a real conflict right up to the apostles themselves. Like I said, you have covered the topic very well. When you talk about conflict, you talk about serious disagreements, or even struggles, or arguments, or differing opinions, or being in opposition. All of those who describe it. What are sources of conflict? You went through many. But some of them is you are in a group. Some people are so tired, they just brought their body. Their mind is left elsewhere. So keep saying, why are you not talking? But the guy can't talk because he's too tired. But number two is when you don't have time for one another, you want to do something quickly, it's likely to cause you conflict. Like I gave you an assignment, it is need 1 hour, you are trying to do it in 10 minutes. Can you see, you are starting to think, the person saying, we are late, let's go to the next point. And it will create conflict, this lack of giving enough time to each other. And if you have, for example, you are friends, but you have not time for one another, you are always meeting in a hurry, you end up having a lot of conflict. That's why it is important once in a while as a team to meet in a relaxed atmosphere. If you are a Bible study, why don't you go for an outing? When you just enjoy each other's company, and you'll see the team will have less conflict. But we also talked about social background differences. We also talked about eating, sleeping, natural issues. The way you do things is not the way I do things. But sometimes people just dislike each other for color. My friend talked about you are black, I'm not as black. I'm tall, you are short. Short people don't think. Tall people breathe air that is not natural. No wonder they don't think straight. Now, those kind of things, if you have beliefs like that, there will be conflict. Do you agree with me? Because he's a tall guy, that one can't think. Now, but sometimes the issues that are causing conflict are actually personality differences. And again, you met about them. There are people who are so neat. If you look at their desk, one paper is always top of another. So when they see another person with papers everywhere, they feel really offended. They can't even think straight. There are people the problem is neatness. And they think like neatness is clever. Instead of understanding that this guy is not confused, it's only the way he keeps papers, you end up with a problem. Or even organized, disorganized. Or some people have impossible expectations of others. For example, you go to a meeting, and because I'm a girl, when you want tea, you want me to get you tea. I'm not your wife, but that's an assumption. So when I don't get you tea, you have a problem. Do those things happen? Do those things happen?
Yes.
Yeah. Expectations. Verify expectations before getting annoyed. Why are you assuming I'll get you tea? If you really want tea, just say, please, when you come with your cup, can you also come with mine? Even if I was your wife, sure it's courteous to ask. Now I'm not even your wife. Are you expecting me to bring you tea? Now, those are the things, expectations. A lot of conflicts in groups have to do with not meeting expectations, yet at the beginning, you did not know those. And those things are so serious. I've had to separate two brothers who entered into a business, and now they are fighting. Why? Because this guy never did. Says, but that's not what you agreed at the beginning. The other guy says, it's obvious. You should have known that. That's what I expected. Now, nothing is obvious. Whenever you have to somebody saying it's obvious, he's not a very clever person. You better, before beginning the activity, before the team begins, please state clearly what you expect of one another. If you don't, rest assured there will be a lot of conflict. Then communication, we have talked about decision-making processes, if they are not clear, and even some annoying habits. There are people who can't help putting their fingers in their nose, and the other one, hey! Now, but that's how they have grown up, and it can create a lot of conflict in that issue. But sometimes they are spiritual. The differences are spiritual. Doctrinal understanding of leadership versus the led. If I become chairman, that doesn't mean I'm cleverer. What's your logical understanding? That's something that needs to be studied. Then there's a problem with a deceitful heart. You lie to yourself. Then you talk like your lie is true. Jeremiah 17 verse 9. Then insecurity, not sure of self-worth and defensive. If somebody is suffering from inferiority complex, every time you say, hey brother, that's not a good idea, what they are hearing is, you are not important. And yet you are just asking a genuine question. But because they are suffering from inferiority complex, it becomes a big conflict. They don't take, you say, especially if somebody thinks they're ugly. Every time you say, but you know some people here, oh, so I'm ugly. Now, nobody said you're ugly. But because you think you're ugly, every comment is interpreted as somebody claiming you are ugly. I'm not communicating. So those are things that need to be dealt with. Insecurity. You need to know God values you as you are. Don't come to look for value from people. Come to the team knowing you are important before God. And what they think or don't think is irrelevant. God loves you as you are. So come and give your ideas without suffering from inferiority. Or even jealousy we talked about, egocentricity and pride we talked about, inflexibility, where you come with fixed ideas. My mother told me that your mother is only one of the many people. Please, I also have a mother. So why don't you allow us to think together? So inflexibility will create a lot of trouble. Come to a group with ideas, yes, but ready to hear other ideas, and that will be very, very important. I want to finish by looking at Galatians 2. I know I'm rushed to it, but it's because you have done a good job. Can you read verse 2 again? Verse 2. Galatians 2, verse 2. Galatians 2, verse 2. If somebody else has it, they can read. So we're answering the question, how can you prevent conflict? Paul is teaching us to listen to the Spirit before acting or reacting. Don't go to a meeting without prayer. Listen to what the Spirit of God is saying, and you are likely to reduce conflict. When you go with this self-centeredness, you will be in trouble. If you go with a spiritual consciousness of God's presence, you will see, sometimes your pride is making you fight a girl because she did not greet you on the street. Then you realize, surely she doesn't have to greet me. I'm okay whether she greets me or no. So don't bring problems over there into the meeting because the Holy Spirit has worked on you. Are we together? So if you want to let everybody learn to be subject to the Holy Spirit. Number 2, in verse 2, approach leaders privately. Don't embarrass. You know, Paul is saying, there is a difference between teams. But instead of embarrassing Peter in public, he went and saw Peter privately. Now a lot of conflict comes because the moment you embarrass the leader, he has his supporters. So the group will divide into 2. I'll get in the point. Wisdom is seeing him privately and say, you know what you said last week? I didn't quite understand what you are saying. Then you talk about it. Once you agree, by the time the 2 of you are coming to the meeting, the leader himself is the one who say, hey, I was unclear last week. Why don't I deal with this matter myself? Then can you read verse 3 for us, sister?
Verse 3. My companion Titus, even though he was Greek, was not forced to be circumcised.
Yeah. In other words, Paul knew that Gentiles should not be circumcised. But he went he went with an open mind, and he's saying be open to state your position up front. Let's be clear. What are we talking about? But some people are said to have something up there. Up, what does the Englishman say? You have something up your sleeve. Now that kind of a team, Urosaba, you know, you are waiting, people waste their time. Now, why didn't you tell us? You waited, you allowed the group to waste all their time, yet you had that thing up your sleeve. If you don't want conflict, come up front and say, I know the subject today is this, but we got instructions from the bishop that we are going to act like this. Then don't waste our time thinking, because you already got instructions. Are we clear? Now, if you start misusing people, allow them to talk, only them to feel you overruled them, they will feel very hard. And then, can you read that for us?
Verse 4. It goes Psalm 126 down. Tending to the believers who made into our group as spies, in order to find out about the freedom we have through our union with Christ Jesus. They wanted to make slaves of us.
Thank you. As you go to a team, in order to avoid conflict, be aware the tares and the wheat must grow together. Because some of the problems is because of naivety. Everything said, you take it seriously. Now, without asking, how biblical is that? And yet Jesus will say, any church that exists will always have tares and wheat. And you're not allowed to separate them. Somebody told me, if you are looking for a perfect church, continue looking. The day you find it, and you can see there are 100 of them, don't join them. Why? You know you're not perfect. The minute you join it, will it be perfect again? So do them a favor, don't join them. Because you know you're not perfect. So every group you are in is made up of imperfect people. Once that is there, it will not annoy you when one of them lies. It will be disappointing, but you'll not be in shock. Because you knew, even among these holy people, there could be one who is a tear. Now that will reduce conflict because you don't react like it could not happen. Verse 5.
Verse 5. But in order to keep the truth of the gospel safe for you, we did not give it to them for you.
Yeah, verse 5 it says, it is not peace at any cost. Although we are trying to work well together, if a group is going to hell, let them go alone. Don't join them. So you cannot, in order to have peace, agree on something that's unbiblical. If there are small matters, don't create disharmony. But if it's a cardinal issue, be clear on that one. You will agree to disagree. Even you insist on the minutes reading your dissenting opinion. Are we together? Yeah, that's a Christian cannot, in the sake of harmony, agree to do something that is evil. That can't happen. It's not right. For example, a group wants to lower sexual standards, and you're in that group. So no. There's no need of us getting to various rooms. If people have girlfriends, why can't they sleep together? You need to be very clear you are not with that team. And tell them clearly, I will certainly report this matter. I cannot allow you under cover to end up in sin. Now, but there are small matters like they want to eat earlier than Delta. That's neither here nor there. So we are saying what Paul is saying, there are matters where he stood his ground because of the seriousness of the matter. So even if you are discussing conflict resolution, there are areas where it's an ongoing. In fact, in negotiations, you always agree what are the parameters. This and this and this you can agree. This and this, those are cardinal issues. Those ones, if the other team does not agree on it, we agree to disagree. And can you read verse 7 and 8? 7 and 8.
On the contrary, they say that one has given the task of preaching the gospel to the Gentiles, just as he has given Peter the task of preaching the gospel to the Jews. For by God's power, I was made an apostle to the Gentiles, just as Peter was made an apostle to the Jews.
Now, if you want some understanding, there must be fruitfulness. In other words, people will see the ideas you give produce fruit. Like Paul is saying, you see, they saw God has used me, and they say, might this guy be right? Given what God has. So don't insist on your ideas, but your history does not bear any semblance of the Holy Spirit using you. Am I clear? So if you want people to understand you, you must live consistently with what you are saying. And the moment people know you are consistent, you don't just say words for winning a debate, they will be listening to you more seriously, and it's likely to reduce the conflict in the group. Verse 9 and 10.
James, Peter, and John, who seemed to be the leaders, recognized that God had given me this special task. So they shook hands with Barnabas and me as a sign that we were all partners. We agreed that Barnabas and I would work among the Gentiles and they among the Jews. All they asked is that we should remember the needy in the group, which is the very thing I have been eager to do.
Now we finish with harmony is critical. Although Paul wants to make stands clear, he still wants harmony. So handshakes in Kenya is a big word, isn't it? You have heard of handshake? Here is another handshake. But they shook hands because they knew the issues of the church are more important than them. So they looked for ways of agreeing. And one of the things they agreed, these two can serve the Gentiles, these other ones can serve the Jews. Because the conflict was between Jews and Gentiles. And so they were able to go together. So please, do not disagree for disagreeing's sake. Let it be a serious issue that's causing it. Because the Word of God will promote unity, will promote fellowship and harmony. Except when it is start breaking what God has said. Now it's time for questions. Any question for me? Am I clear? Do you find this is something you can go to implement? Yeah, because we are not just discussing, we are hoping in your fellowship, in your home, in your CU in school, that the things will be better because you attended this leadership training. Okay, let me ask my friend Wilson to pray for us, and then we can leave you. Wilson?
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father,